Hi, this is Stacy with Gooseberry Bridge Farm, and today I am in the greenhouse. It is morning. I'm just opening things up and watering, and I was going to show you real quick what everything looks like on, what are we, March 7th. We started our first seeds on February 1st, and I will show you what those are. Alright, as you can see, we have lots of trays of seedlings here, all over the place. They are all over there and all up there, and I've got a whole nother smaller greenhouse full. So this biggest prize winning thing we have here is this Napa cabbage. It has kind of gone crazy and really needs to be outside at that size, but here we are. I probably just started it too early. I started this size, this is a kale, on the 17th. That's, well, probably the 15th. We put it into the tray on the 17th. We pre-germinated those seeds indoors. But I'll go over to the vegetable side. These are mostly flowers. We started these bachelor buttons, yarrow, bachelor buttons, calendula and agrostemma, and the larkspur the first week in February. This yarrow says it was mid-February, and mid-February for the status, and the sage, and lots of stuff was mid-February. But back over here, this is much greener. The bigger plants that you can see in here, this tray, the end of that tray, this tray, these are starting to catch up. This one, and that one were our February 1st starts. Those are bok choy, cabbage, let's see, that one's broccoli, this one I believe is cauliflower, yes, and over there is Brussels sprouts. So those were, basically I started them too early, by the looks of it. They are ready to go out at this size, and all of these others are about a week and a half behind. You can see how much they grow and how fast. I think they're probably 10 days behind. So for next year, and I can say this as much for me as anybody else, I need to start these in the middle of February for our CSA Plant Start members to plant them out April 1st. What I'm going to do this time is I'm probably going to have them pick up on March 25th, which I probably need to tell them about just in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know. It's in a few weeks, but we're going to, I think it's 2.5 weeks. Anyway, I'm probably going to plant this bok choy because it's too big, but this tray here, which you can barely see, is also purple bok choy, like this one. So they'll still get that. And then we also have the spinach down here, which is in 3 different stages. This is the original spinach. Then I started this one, and then I started these 2 trays like a day after. I'm not sure if these are smaller because they're a different variety, or if they like this soil more, because these were like a day apart. But some of them, there's 3 or 4 different varieties of spinach though, so, and I didn't keep track of which ones they were. Anyway, and then I've got all my trees that I got from the Missouri Department of Conservation. There's 375 trees, though 50 of them are already outside in pots. I'm going to be potting up all of these tree seedlings. They're just in their bare root, and I'll pot them up and let them grow. Another thing I'm trying this year is these little grow bags. This is borage, and it doesn't like root disturbance and wants to keep our soil. So that's why I'm put it in there. Those are like twice as deep as these little tray cells. And this is okra in those little bags. And the main reason I did that is because last year the okra outgrew the trays and we had to pot them up into bigger, like solo cup size things. And so I'm trying something in between in hopes that we can keep them until it's time to plant out, which we can't plant those out until May, but they grow a little slower. So these are all peppers, and I'll see if I can get closer and show you. I'm mostly trying them in the same trays I always plant them in. These are, I think these are all jalapenos, and then there's a whole tray of sweet peppers in soil blocks that I showed in my last video on the greenhouse. This was with my Swift blocker, so there's 71 blocks in there because I took the corner out, because sometimes I mess up the corner. They're coming along. The peppers in the other greenhouse that I'll show you in a minute are doing a little better, but they are ahead of these a few days. They germinated, like most of these say the 27th, some of them are March 1st, and then some of them are the 26th, where the ones in the other greenhouse are dated the 24th and 25th. So anyway, this in the corner here that's all green is milkweed that I'm trying to start. There's also some gomphrena in here now. Oh, and peas. These are peas. So I've been using my little, more peas, tunnel inside the tunnel. And so I put this cover over the row and put this heater in there at night. And I've got the thermostat going right here. This is my thermostat, which looks like it's freaking out on the camera because of the type of screen it is, but it's not. Anyway, it's and the thermostat is actually stuck in the soil right there, so that it's not affected by too much sunlight. So we have that thermostat here, and then at night when the soil temperature gets down to 50, the heater kicks on, and the fan is on for airflow, but also to circulate the heat within this tunnel. And like last night it was 37, and it was it stayed right around. Once the heater kicked on, it went up to 58 and stayed steady at 58 in this tunnel. I have a new thermometer system that I will have to take a screen recording and show you because it's an app, but it's these little white things, and it's giving me graphs and all sorts of fun stuff on the temperatures. So this tunnel gets the cover just to give it a little bit of a boost, but I've been watching because I have a thermometer here and I have one back on those things, and the difference in the temperature is actually like very, very small. By putting the separate tunnel over the tunnel, I'm only gaining like a degree maybe. Oh, and I need to show you guys these. These are daffodils, obviously. Aren't they beautiful? I've had this crate in here for 2-3 years now. 2 years? I don't know. And it's awesome. They just bloom in here, and I took some in the house, and for the most part I'm just enjoying them. No care in the summer. We just I let it dry out and forget about them, and then they come back in the spring. I do water it a little bit when we start doing plants in here. There's such a pretty variety. I should plant them outside. We also have all these hydrangeas that I've been overwintering in here, and I probably should have moved them outside before they started getting leaves, because now they're getting leaves pretty early, but you can see the leaves down there. And I have to keep them from freezing. So handily they're in the greenhouse, but if I'd moved them outside while it was still cold enough, I mean, they would have been fine because they're hydrangeas. They're hardy to zone 3. Pinnacle hydrangeas, I believe. Anyway, we're gonna go over to the next greenhouse and show you what's growing there. All right, see how green it is? This is crazy. So there's our new greenhouse that we are working on. A full video of the whole build from the beginning. We'll see how that goes. But this is where we're at now. The plastic is on the sides and the top. The back wall is the north end, so it doesn't have plastic. It's gonna have vents though. That's what those giant holes are. There'll be a door here, and then we've got these windows on this side, and then those will be covered in plastic on the sides, and then I think that up there is gonna be a vent. It's much taller than our other one, but otherwise the same design, and the windows will be bigger. These will be windows. Pretty cool. And we got some weed fabric around the edges, but we still need to do the middle. Anyway, we'll walk past the blackberries. We've started putting the garden back together because of all those spring veggies I was just showing you. I need to get mine planted. I'm going to probably plant the big ones because the CSA people can't pick them up until later, and I don't want to give them giant root-bound plants, but I think I can plant mine a little early because I can cover them. Okay, so we're going in the small greenhouse. Small greenhouse. All right, so we've got all of the little soil blocks in here, and the main reason for that is because we have benches, whatever, up high, because the small soil blocks are much easier to water if you're up close. And now that I'm looking at all of them on this video, that's a lot. So these were our first starts that we did in the soil blocks. Feverfew, strawflower, chamomile, Chinese forget-me-nots, scabiosa, which did not germinate well, but it was all saved seed, dusty miller, and Persian cress back there. Those are doing awesome. They're all close to ready to plant out. These are the 3/4 inch blocks, so like there's our little strawflower baby. I'm just really excited about them. I have this like incredible urge to pot them up, but they're doing awesome in these little tiny blocks. The roots aren't going crazy. They're air pruning is what they call it. And I'm fertilizing them once or twice a week with very diluted rabbit poo water, rabbit poo tea. But these are peppers. I told you they were doing better than the ones in the other greenhouse, but they're a little ahead. They are also put in this box. This is a big plywood box at night with a light bulb, so they are staying on average 10 degrees warmer than the peppers in the other greenhouse at night. So I think that's helping them to mature quicker because peppers love heat. Okay, so if we go over here, this is our lettuce in soil blocks. The lettuce is all going to get potted up into containers like this with some of the spinach and kale from the other greenhouse. And then also this is another round of lettuce, and there's another one of those somewhere. But they will go to our CSA members. They ordered these pots with lettuce in them for like a patio salad box, basically. This is saponaria and a second round of cress and more peppers. We look down here. This is the snapdragon section of the program. They grow slower, so they're pretty small, but they're doing awesome. All these are snapdragons, and these and these. These are chives. Took forever to germinate, but now they're going. And these, I believe, are linaria. They went kind of crazy, and now they're stretched. But we'll just put those in our like pots and things. These are poppies. This is Rebecca. That's the same start date as the stuff behind us, so the 3rd, and they're doing really good. Like some of my Rebecca from last year that I started in January and planted out in April wasn't even this big. Like they just didn't grow last year, and I don't really know why. They were just not happy, but these are doing awesome. These are Icelandic poppies. They're doing reasonably well. These are regular like breadseed poppies that you grow for the dried pods. Then we have some really leggy, sad African basil. This is verbena, and they're chugging along. I have some that overwintered, so I'm not super worried about it, but I wanted to have a little bit more. Orlea also have some that overwintered, but reseeded it in there. I need to pot those up because they're all together. And then we have some herbs, thyme and oregano. These are petunias, fancied Italian cutting petunias. This was like all the seeds I had left, and that's what I got. This is another round of Rebecca. Started about 2 weeks after the first one. So you can see how much they can grow in that time. This is the 2 weeks ago, and then that. So they can grow quickly. We've got some sweet Annie, some dill, I need to start more dill. It's on my list. More time. I've got so much time started this year. That's kind of funny to say it. More Sweet Annie. The seed packet kind of spilled and now we have Sweet Annie everywhere. Winged Everlasting, that's a really good cut flower to dry. And then these are recent successions of chamomile and feverfew, and about a month behind the last one, which they're just starting to pop out, but I didn't use my germination chamber at all on them. They've just been germinating in here. And this is alyssum for the flower pots. It grows really fast. And some more milkweed. So that's the tour. That's all the plants. Thousands and thousands of plants. There, at the last count, were over 1,600 peppers. And I was really wanting to get some of these things outside. If I'm just looking at this, I would say most of these, like the cress for sure, most of these could be planted outside now with the weather, with the temperatures we're having, which is like highs in the 50s and lows in the 30s this week, and then it goes up a little and down a little. But the problem is that it's going to rain like 5 inches this week, and it rained like 5 inches last week, and that's just too much for these little guys to handle. So we're just going to keep them inside a little longer. I was going to show you these too. These are coreopsis that I'm growing for pollinator gardens and to help with the or to use for dyes. Sorry, the pigs are making really strange noises outside. I really hope the sound on this video is okay. I just noticed there's a weird plant in here that doesn't look like the rest. Do you see that? These are one type of coreopsis. These are another type. These are a dwarf variety that did not germinate well, but look at this guy. That's not a coreopsis. There must have been a different kind of seed. I guess I'll let it grow and see what it makes. I have a thistle looking thing coming up in one of my other trays too. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the quick greenhouse tour and all the things that are growing. I know that this is the most exciting type of video, but I like this stuff, so someone else up there must like baby plants. And I actually rewatch my videos because I don't take the best notes. But like this year, I went and looked at last year's videos and I knew what not to do. So here we are.